everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tending the Flag. My name is PJ Kanojian, and I'm coming to you from the colonial city of Williamsburg, Virginia. And on the other side of the internet, on the other side of the internet, a man who resides in a state that Alexander Ovechkin has not scored in because they don't have a pro hockey team. Kevin Lujanowicz from the great state of Delaware. How you doing tonight, Kev?
How's it going, PJ? Happy Masters Week to you, sir.
And a happy Masters Week to you, sir, as well. But of course, I had to give Ovi a shout out there for breaking the Great One's record. Be remiss if we didn't mention that.
Definitely. And to every goalie in the state of Delaware, I believe you get a Coors Light on him.
Yeah, special edition.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, so today we're going to be going over the Masters, a couple storylines going into the tournament, and just our thoughts on some of the stuff surrounding it. And at the end of it, you'll get our picks from two people who definitely have all the inside information and information you will not be able to find anywhere else other than this podcast, because we did not do our research on the internet. No, we went straight to each individual player and got these stats.
It's true.
Am I lying? Yes or no?
Don't fact check it.
Don't fact check it. All right, before we get started, Kev, what are you drinking this evening?
I am enjoying a blueberry lime sour from Edmund's Oast Brewery.
That's the one I had the other week.
Yeah.
It's a good one, right?
I think we got them off of the same person.
We probably did. Well, I am, in honor of the Masters, I'm drinking out of a green cup that says the Masters on it. Okay. And I've made myself an azalea.
Oh, okay.
So the drink of the Masters, pretty good.
Well played. I am drinking it out of the Crow's Nest cup. It is also green. The Crow's Nest being their own specialty beer.
And it's a good one. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. I mean, every beer there is fantastic and cheap.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, if nothing else, because it's like $4. But that is the one thing missing is my pimento cheese sandwich and my peach cookie ice cream thing. So
the best thing on the menu is the peach ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, I'm telling you, last year I probably could have knocked down like 10 of them if I didn't want to limit myself. But that would have been a very, very rough day because it does contain dairy and probably wouldn't see much of the golf course.
Crickets.
Yeah, boo. It can't all be good.
Can't all be good.
Anyway.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, let's do it. Let's talk about Augusta and some of the stuff that's happening around. And of course, the first event that kicks off Masters Week and Augusta in general is the Augusta National Women's Amateur Championship. And this is always a fun thing to watch. It's not really broadcast or advertised really heavily, but it is your first look at Augusta for the year. Kev, I don't know if you captured any of it. I was able to see a little bit of it on the final day when they were playing at Augusta, but I didn't get the first two rounds.
Honestly, I did not get too much of it this weekend. I did see a couple of the last players finish up on 18. It was a busy weekend for me, unfortunately.
It's always fun to watch, and of course we get the tweets every year. Oh, I could beat these women. I'm a one handicap. Rick Scoff put out another one of those tweets from one of those, I guess I'll call them meatheads, who are saying, I could beat these women any day of the week. No, you can't. Doesn't matter that they're amateur. Doesn't mean that they're teenagers. You're not beating them.
Yes.
Because they did a phenomenal job. So yeah, I managed to watch a bit of it on Saturday, and I took a couple notes. Of course, we had the winner, Carla Burnett Escobar. She's a 21-year-old senior from Kansas State. She shot a 4 under 68, and she beat 16-year-old phenom Astrid Talley by just a single shot, going 12 under for the tournament. So that's impressive right there, just going 4 under 68 at Augusta National.
It is. It's crazy. I did see Astrid Talley's shot on one, where she holed out for eagle from the fairway. Possibly one of the best shots ever hit on that hole.
Oh, by far. And that hole is tough. Like, it is, like, if you can just watch the video of it, because the stance she has and the way she has to hit it, it's unbelievable. And the hole out from that is just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a crazy shot.
Carla goes on to join a couple other Spaniards in note, but she was the first Spaniard to win the Augusta National Women's Amateur. She's also the fifth Spaniard to win at Augusta National. So, Kev, do you know who the other four are?
Spaniards in general?
Spaniards who won at Augusta.
Okay, so we're talking men. John Rahm.
Yes. Correct.
Olafable.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Sergio won.
Correct.
How many more?
You got one more.
Uh, uh,
The most epic eyebrows ever on tour.
oh, eyebrows.
Yep.
I was gonna go Sevi, but
Heavy. Yep.
was it? Okay, okay.
Yeah, Sevi won.
Threw me off with eyebrows.
Oh, he's got some great eyebrows.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, can't argue there. I mean, the unibrow is a look. Yeah, so yeah, Sevi, Olzabel, Sergio, and John Rahm are the other four Spaniards. So some pretty decent company
Yeah,
for her.
absolute legends of the game.
Oh yeah, and she gets some cool stuff along with that. She gets exemptions into the next 5 ANWAs. She gets into the Chevron Championship, the U.S. Women's Open, the Amundi Evian Championship, the AIG Women's British Open, and any RNA, USGA, and PGA of America Championship for 1 year. Not to mention the trophy and the bragging rights she gets. So she gets a pretty hefty package.
Yeah, it's impressive. I love it, especially as an amateur tournament.
Pretty good winner like circle for that. And obviously they don't get paid, but they get a pretty nice reward for getting that.
Mm-hmm.
It did get a little bit dicey for her on 17 because she bogeyed while Astros Talley made an incredible birdie to cut down the lead to 1 there.
Mm-hmm.
We also had last year's winner, Lottie Wood, in conversation all day, and she wound up shooting even par in the final round to finish 3rd at 9 under. But what's really cool is that Carla now has 4 points for a new program called the LEAP program, and that's a pathway amateurs can take to make it to the LPGA Tour. She's also got a pretty good college resume. She earned Golf Week's 3rd team All-American. She was WGCA's 2nd team All-American. She got Coaches All-ACC honors and the ACC Women's Golfer of the Year, and she got that all in her sophomore year at Tulane.
Nice.
Her junior year at Kansas State, she repeated as 2nd team and 3rd team All-American. She received the All Big 12 Coaches honors, and in March 2024 was the Big 12 Golfer of the Year. So, I mean, the future's so bright, you got to wear shades for her. I don't really see where she wouldn't reach the tour because she's been in contention for many tournaments, and she's going to be up there.
Yeah, it's a very impressive resume. And I'd argue if you can pull it off at Augusta, you probably deserve to be on tour sooner than later.
Oh, absolutely. And other people who deserve on tour 2nd place winner, Asterisk Tally. I mean, First of all, awesome name, right?
Yes.
Kudos to her parents for naming her that. But she's just a prodigy. She's 16 years old. She had a great performance to the women's amateur. She hit 17 of 18 greens during the final round at Augusta, which is absolutely insane. I mean, the men would be hard-pressed to do that. She eagled the first holes you mentioned. She's ranked number 1 in American Junior Golf Association, or she's 15th in World Amateur rankings. Although that's probably going to change after her performance at the National Amateur. 2024, she finished 2nd in the U.S. Girls Junior and Women's Amateur. She won the U.S. Women's Amateur 4-ball with Sarah Lim, and she represented the U.S. in the Curtis Cup and Junior Solheim Cup. So she has been there.
That's awesome. I had the pleasure of watching the Solheim Cup when it was up at Marion a couple years ago. And what an absolute amazing event that they put on there. So just a quick shout out to that too, and women's golf in general. It is a different breed of golf because obviously it's not the distance that matters, but these guys can hit literally any shot through a 1-foot gap. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, and it's even I would argue it's just as fun, if not more, to watch women's golf in person because you don't have as big a gallery, so you're not like fighting and straining to search over people. It's a lot easier to walk around. It's a more open event to watch the women because I saw them at what is it? It's Mission Hills Golf Club, I think it was. I forget the name of it, but one place in Florida. It was fun and it was free to get in, so it was awesome.
Yeah, and just to echo that statement. It was at Marion when I was there, and I was literally front of the ropes on every single shot, and almost like a closer spectator spot than when the Open was there. It was fantastic.
So it's a good time if you ever get a chance if they come to town. Go out and look at it. And I forgot to mention last year, Asterisk, she finished T8 at the Augusta Women's National, so she's going to be up there. She's going to have no problem getting to the tour. I saw one thing, I couldn't exactly confirm it, but I saw one thing saying that she was looking more at college instead.
Okay.
But she's going to be up there when she finally gets to the tour.
That's awesome. Looking forward to seeing all these careers advance.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that's cool about watching the amateur tournaments too, because you're seeing the future stars.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, also at Augusta, one of the first events we have is a drive, chip, and putt. And that's always a fun event, and it's something I kind of wish we had as a kid. Kev, I don't know if you participated in any sort of drive, chip, and putt events. I never really did, but did you have any of those when you were younger? Or?
No, I don't think it was really a readily available thing, at least not in this area. So no, those events were not a thing for me, at least.
Yeah, well, I'll just give out some shout outs to the winners here. For the boys, Joshua Hooper, he won the 7 to 9 age group, and I found out that he listened to Thunderstruck on the way to the golf courses, so he's got some pretty good music choices. It's good parenting right there. Dawson Dial won the boys 10 to 11. Hudson Justice won the boys 12 to 13. And Anthony Wu won the boys 14 to 15. On the girls' side, it was Ellie Kim in the 7 to 9 group, Bella Samos in the 10 to 11 group, Alexandra Fung in the 12 to 13, and Abigail Henriksen in the 14 to 15 group. Congratulations to those guys. Scotty and Akshay were on hand to honor the winners, so that was pretty cool. They got to meet those guys, and yeah, it's the future stars of the PGA possibly you're seeing at those events. So if you get a chance to watch it, it's another fun event to watch.
Yeah, and I love that Akshay's there because he was one of those kids that came up through that program, got to participate at Augusta, and now he's out there playing it, which is incredible.
Yep. And that was going to be a trivia question I was going to ask you. Who was the only person to participate in the drive, chip, and putt and play at the Masters? And it was Akshay.
Sorry, buddy. Also, quick shout out to the women's amateur. I don't know if you saw Andy Smith's hole-in-one on the par 3 course, which is incredible. Just a straight slam dunk, which just one of the coolest things that you can see. I didn't know that everybody that participated in the women's amateur, they all get a practice round at Augusta, which is so cool because they played the first 2 rounds of the tournament off-site. But I thought it's really cool that every single participant is allowed to play Augusta and they get to play the par 3 course afterwards. So shout out to Augusta for that.
Oh, yeah. They take care of the participants and all of these things really well. I mean, we'd all love to play at Augusta.
Right?
Not much more can be said about that. They get a privilege that few of us are ever going to get. So yeah, good job to all the kids playing in the drive, chip, and putt. I mean, just to get there, you have to win your way through several tournaments, and you have to have some nerves of steel to be able to play in that. So good job to those guys.
Definitely, and the footwork of Scotty Scheffler I saw too. That kids are now doing the full moves kick, and I'm pretty sure he jumped while teeing off. It was incredible.
I want to try that next time I'm on a rage, but I'm afraid I'm gonna break an ankle or something like that. I was gonna say
I want to try it, but I'm worried about my safety.
Yeah, it's not like the happy swing, which is just kind of it's kind of fun. No, this is it's advanced dance moves. It's like DDR plus 7 or something. It's I don't know. I don't have the choreography skills.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, of course, we got the par 3 event, which is we're recording this on Tuesday and for a Wednesday release. So hopefully you're listening to this while you're enjoying the par 3 event. That's one I'm going to be watching, and that's always fun to watch too. What more can be said? It's just a good time. It's a fun family tournament where the guys can kind of let down their hair a little bit, be a little bit goofy, you see some of their personality, and it's not like a crazy serious tournament. It's just fun to watch because the guys are relaxing and having a bit more fun.
Definitely, and I love it from the family standpoint. You often see kids caddying, taking golf shots, or even like the caddy hitting a shot into a green. It is a cool atmosphere, and I love that the players purposely throw their scores to not win it.
Yeah, it's so fun. So I'm looking forward to watching that. But speaking of that too, kind of leading into our next conversation is our favorite Masters moments. And I put as an honorable mention, I had Tony Finau's hole-in-one on the par 3 court and dislocating his ankle while running to the green. Because that was funny. I really enjoyed that. It was funny because he didn't really get that seriously hurt. It's the PGA's version of Titus O'Neil sliding under the ring at the Greatest Royal Rumble. That was so entertaining. Kev, I'm sure you had some thoughts on that and thought it was pretty funny.
I didn't. I hate seeing people get hurt, especially in stupid ways, like having hole-in-one and trying to run and not being able to run. It was a great moment until it wasn't. I
mean, he didn't get that hurt, which is what made it that more entertaining.
That's true. I did see someone ask the question on Twitter the other day of what's your favorite moment at Augusta, and someone literally had the still of his ankle going sideways, and I cringed for a second.
Oh
I
no!
might have closed the browser on that one.
As someone who's dislocated his hand pretty badly,
Yeah,
it's not fun to
yeah,
watch.
yeah,
But it was entertaining. I mean, he was good humored about it afterwards. You know, it could have turned out real bad, but that's what makes it kind of funny is that, you know, he didn't get that seriously hurt. So
yeah. Right.
good on him. But I will throw the ball to you first, sir. What is your favorite Masters moment?
For me personally, it was steading foot on property in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to really narrow it down, it was getting to Amen Corner. I've had the pleasure of going twice so far, 2018 and 2024. My dad won the lottery in 2018. I happened to win it for last year. But in 2018, I just remember it was like, what do you want to do first? And my immediate response was, I need to walk the course in order, like in playing order. I need to see every shot coming in as if I was playing. And I just remember coming down 11, and you can see 12, and then there's a corner at 12 and 13 in Amen Corner there with a concession stand right behind it. And I probably spent about 2.5 hours there before I moved on to 14. It was incredible.
Nice. Nice.
But
yeah, that was a good time when we went, man. That was awesome.
yeah. But if you want to go just pure Masters moment, it's probably still Tiger on 16, the chip in where the ball just stops on the edge of the hole and everybody's, you know, shaking, and then maybe an earthquake rolls through or something and it falls. That is one of the most incredible shots ever.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I'll give that also an honorable mention as going with you last year to the Masters, because you're right. There is nothing like stepping onto that ground for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would rate it. The first time I went to Disneyland, I remember just walking in there and just being like, "Oh my God, I'm here! This is so cool!" And it was that same kind of feeling walking into Augusta for the first time. It doesn't seem real.
No, it
Like,
doesn't.
it really doesn't.
It definitely has some kind of aura about it. And I was listening to Ludwig talk today, just a couple of minutes ago. He had a press conference this morning, and he mentioned that the fact that the patrons don't have their phones is actually like a bigger deal than most people would think. He said like there's more people, like you make eye contact with the fans, and everybody just seems to be there for the golf tournament. And it's something so different than any other atmosphere on tour.
I could say that about so many things, you know, concerts, being at a theme park. That's one thing that I think that makes live theater so special, is because everybody is there in the moment, and spot on. I mean, everybody is in the moment at Augusta. You know, it's a chance, like the world is so hectic, crazy on the outside, and it's a chance to kind of block that out for a couple of hours and just enjoy being outside, being on one of the most beautiful golf courses in the world, and watching the best players in the world play golf. Like it's magic.
Yeah, it's incredible.
My favorite one was it's a little bit different. It was, I mean, it's kind of half golf related, half not. And it was Tiger's 2019 win. What I thought was really cool, it was not just a glimpse into the greatness he had, but it was also a masterclass on Tiger, who's, you know, unlocked the course's secrets, and you don't see that every day. But what was really neat about it was where I was. I was at Universal Studios, and I was working on a tour that day, and you saw so many people, like lots of people, just stopping and staring at their phones. It was like the whole park just kind of stopped for a minute, and everybody watched their phones as he was playing that final hole, and there were people cheering and yelling and screaming through the park, high-fiving each other, you know, talking about it the rest of the day. And it was a really cool moment that everybody kind of came together when he won on the 18th hole, just to, you know, cheer an amazing achievement, his comeback to win in 2019.
Yeah. No, that was an incredible moment. I mean, I will 99% chance that I will be watching on Sunday with my dad. It's just tradition for us as well. And I just remember that was such like a family moment for him too. It was an incredible scene.
Yeah, going over and hugging Charlie in pretty much the same spot that his dad hugged him. Like
Yeah.
it was cool. It was special.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, it was the 2019 Masters final round has 11 million views on YouTube, and it's the most watched final round on the Masters YouTube channel. So it's that big of a moment.
That's awesome.
And the second one was not even close. This one came in 5 million, and it was actually like my previous favorite moment was Tiger's 1997 win. And what got me way there is just watching, a dude who's not that much older than I am, just
Yeah.
tear up a legendary course.
Yeah.
He shredded it.
I remember watching Tiger and Sergio go at it. And this is why I'm actually one of the reasons why I'm a Sergio fan is because all my other friends kind of pick Tiger. And I'm not one to root for someone that wins all the time. So that was why Sergio was my pick back then. Also because his hat and his color matching outfits. But I remember watching him where I used to take junior golf lessons in the summer. And I remember sitting inside of the grill area in these giant chairs that were probably 4 times the size of us as kids. And just sitting down and watching these guys go at it on TV. And I was thinking the same thing. It was like, where did we go wrong? But yeah, that was
Right?
incredible. That was incredible.
Yeah, I took lessons when I was younger, and kind of, I wouldn't say grew up, but played in like a local country club's program. And I'm like, man, if I had only stuck with it, maybe there'd be a chance. But you know what? You saying that you don't always pick the guy who wins all the time, that makes sense. It all makes sense now why you're a Newcastle fan.
Well,
Like I've been trying to wrap my head about it, where you pulled Newcastle from.
it's
Like,
because I'm
okay,
born and raised in
now
Newcastle.
I got it.
That has nothing to do with it. That's
All
like
right, I guess that's fair.
that's the Philly fan. That's just like we don't like winners.
That's why we're Union fans. Can't win.
Yeah.
Can't win the big one.
I'll give a close second again. I'll shout out Sergio with his win in 2017. But to go full circle, I remember finding a golf ball up here in Delaware in the woods, and it said Sergio 2017 on it. And I'll never forget
Nice.
it because it wasn't like it was a TaylorMade or some kind of weird sponsored ball. It was like a Bridgestone or like it could have even been a Wilson for that matter. Like it was a nothing ball that someone got stamped Sergio 2017. And I thought for me to find that in the woods after he won at Augusta, it was just meant to be. So much so I don't know where it is right now. But I remember I have not used it on the course.
That's pretty cool. I found a ball like that in Florida that said Tiger on it. I'm like, And it was a Bridgestone, so I'm like, maybe. But then I realized there is no way Tiger's playing this course. But it was still pretty cool. All right, well, I will ask you a question. Speaking about Masters moments, and this one might get a little bit of debate, and y'all can debate it in the comment section. I would love to hear what you think. Jack holds the record at 6 Masters wins. Could Tiger have beaten Jack 6 if he stayed healthy? And follow-up question, is there any possibility Tiger could tie Jack's record?
Oh yeah, you mean like currently think he can get there? No,
It's like if he had stayed healthy, he would have beaten the 6. I think.
I don't think that record's ever going to get touched, unless maybe 30 years from now someone else comes up that is, the next Tiger. I think Tiger's the only one that had a chance to do it. He's the only one that had, especially in his day, he had an overpowering distance that other people didn't have. But he was also so consistent with his mid and lower irons into these greens that it was almost unfair for the rest of the field to play against him at Augusta.
Yeah, that's why they had the Tiger proof.
Yeah, I think Tiger would go down as one of the best players to ever play Augusta, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm in agreement. I think he would have had a very good shot at beating Jack 6. I think he probably could have gotten to 7. He definitely would have tied it. I don't see him tying it now. Like I think the Masters moment has passed him. 2019 was a miracle. It was unexpected, but going forward, I don't think the Tiger is tying it.
It's such a cliche too with Tiger, but like that course is so hard to walk as it is when you're not broken. I just don't think he's got it in him anymore.
Yeah, I agree. But man, it was fun watching it.
Yeah, right.
All right, so moving on, we got the menu. So let's talk about the menu a little bit that Scotty's hosting.
All right.
This year.
Dinner's tonight.
So dinner is tonight. So currently on the menu, we have, as your appetizer, cheeseburger sliders, firecracker shrimp, Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites, which almost took off Scotty's hand. We have Texas-style chili as your first course. You have your main course of a wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish, served with family-style mac and cheese, jalapeno creamed corn, soy glazed Brussels sprouts, chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes, and your dessert is a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie with vanilla bean ice cream. So, what are you getting tonight, sir?
Off of his menu,
Yes.
I am attacking those cheeseburger sliders and those ravioli bites.
Mm-hmm.
I will take a small helping of the chili. I can't turn it down as the first course without another option. I will be a courteous guest, and I will have a couple spoonfuls of chili before attacking that ribeye. If it's at Augusta, we're going to go medium rare.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
And then all those sides look amazing to me.
All right. Here's where I'm at.
Okay.
First of all, I can't have the shrimp because it will literally kill me. So that's off the menu for me. But just like you, I'm hitting those sliders and I am attacking the meatball and ravioli bites.
Yeah.
Second, chili's good. I'll have a couple spoonfuls, but it's going to sit like a brick in my stomach, as it will with everybody. I'm going on the ribeye. Or I'm sorry, I put down that I'm going on the redfish on this one, just to have something a little bit lighter, because everything's just sitting there so heavy. And the sides are really heavy, too.
Yeah.
And desserts, not bad. But here's where I'm at with this. It's not a bad menu. It's kind of similar to what he had a couple years ago. But strategically, it is really it's smart, right? Mm-hmm. You're giving these guys a meal that's just going to sit like a brick in your stomach for 3 days. So they're going to be waddling around a couple days later. There's nothing healthy about it. Most of the guys are on a really athletic diet. Like, the only one who could eat this and come out on top the next day is John Daly.
That and a case of beer, too.
Yeah, I mean, John Daly's menu would be Marlboro Reds for the appetizer. His first course is going to be beer. The main course is going to be a big-ass steak served by Hooters girls. And the dessert is going to be ripping more darts and beer.
Yeah, John Daly can handle it. But I think Bryson would probably have some weird, like, 300,000 calorie deficit diet or whatever they call it. So I bet you he would probably attack 3 of these dinners.
Oh, Bryson's menu is going to be crazy when he wins, if he wins. Well, I think it's going to be more win.
Yeah. Do you want to know a fun fact about this dinner? They say that this is the most affordable dinner within the last decade at about $108 a plate. Just for reference, his menu in 2023 was almost identical. That was closer to $150 a plate.
Interesting, because I was trying to think back. Somebody had just like cheeseburgers and fries. Was that Tiger? Although that was...
No, yeah, you're right. Tiger, after his first win, he had cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches, and French fries.
Yeah, that was it. I couldn't think of what he had in 19, but yeah, that was just like basic.
Incredible dinner. I will go with the worst Masters dinner of all time.
All
right. That would belong to no other than Mr. Bubba Watson.
Yes.
Are you ready for this menu?
No, lay it on me.
All right. I have the invite actually right here. In honor of Mr. Bubba Watson, we are having a traditional Caesar salad, followed by grilled chicken breast with green beans, mashed potatoes, corn, mac and cheese that's also served with cornbread. And for dessert, we're having confetti cake with vanilla ice cream. He served that dinner not once, but twice.
I'm pretty sure I had that at high school at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, to the point where Nick Faldo, after 2013, called him out, basically calling it a kid's Happy Meal, which is
That's
incredible.
Fair. Yeah. All right. My next question to you, good sir, is what is your master's dinner? You're hosting the master's dinner. What's your menu?
All right. I had to think about this because I'm not a big, like, sit-down formal dinner plan. So I'm having this more in the style of, like, more of, like, what I had at my wedding. So we're talking, like, a lot of people time. So we're going to have, like, an appetizer. But, like, you know, small plate kind of deals where you can walk around, talk to people. So we're going to have some crostinis. I'm a big fan of brie, fig, and prosciutto. And then to honor being at Augusta, we're going to make some pimento cheese balls. We'll serve that on a cracker, too. So we'll have a nice little cheese and cracker. We can even do, like, charcuterie and just have a great time hanging out with everyone. And then we'll do a quick sit-down meal. I'm going to elect for a salad instead of a soup. We're going to have a spring salad with feta, cranberry, and some kind of vinaigrette. Nice and light. And then for dessert, I'm going to carb load everyone with veal or chicken parm. And that's going to be served over spaghetti.
Okay.
And then for dessert, we're going to honor my family because at every event, including my wedding, we had a cookie tray that was made by my grandmother. So we will have all the Italian cookies from Pizzelles to little ricotta cookies, just a nice spread of them. And then we're going to serve key lime pie. And then, again, I'm going to follow in the theme of my wedding here. After everything was said and done, we put out a munchie bar for everybody to take home boxes of cheeseburger sliders, french fries, mozzarella sticks, all the goodies that after a party, which is what I want this to be, not a dinner, that you go home and you're like, yes, I needed that cheeseburger and french fries.
And I'm 100% with you on pizzelles, man. Nothing hits better than a nice pizzelle.
No, nothing.
So not bad. I kind of went, I guess, more serious with the reflections of me and the area where I'm from, from a master's dinner. So appetizers, here's what we got. And we got a couple here. We have a chopped up 2-foot Wawa Italian hoagie. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to go out to Karopolis. I'm going to get a tomato pie.
You know what? I had tomato pie actually as an appetizer and I crossed it out.
Dude, yeah, I mean, if you haven't, first of all, if you're in the Philly area, you've had tomato pie. I'm sure you have. But if you're not from the Philly area, find a tomato pie. It's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
I'm giving you cheesesteak bites, kind of like little cheesesteak sliders.
You going sliders
and
or egg rolls?
Also, it's gonna be sliders.
Okay.
Slider style. I'm also giving you turkey squares from Ridley High School, which I don't know if it's a unique recipe to them, but I'm going to have Ridley High School make the turkey squares.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
Okay.
All right, first course. So being a big Disney guy, I got to represent the mouse in this. And in Canada at Les Celliers, and every year during their Food and Wine Festival at the Canada booth, they have this ridiculously good Canadian cheddar and bacon soup that's just amazing. That's my soup for you.
Okay. That sounds good.
Main course. Oh, it's delicious. Main course, we're going to represent the Colonial Williamsburg. We got pumpkin gnocchi with sage butter and roasted root vegetables.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Or, I mean, it makes sense because I've lived in Philly and now in Williamsburg, and I've been there most of my life, so I've been surrounded by colonial history. I will also give you a choice where between that or you could have cheeseburgers with lettuce and tomatoes, Heinz 57, French fried potatoes, a big kosher pickle, and, of course, a cold draft beer.
Okay. Well, I think that's a fair trade-off.
Got to represent Jimmy. I'm a big parrot head.
Okay.
So, got to go with that one. Dessert, here we go. I'm going to give you another choice for your dessert. Again, representing the mouse, I'm going to give you one of those Cheshire cattails, or as I like to call them, unicorn dicks. Look them up. It looks like a unicorn dick.
Okay.
And you get that with a Mickey bar.
I was going to ask if the Mickey bar was appearing. Okay. Staple.
Oh, absolutely. Your choice is that. And, I'll give you an and/or. You can have both. I don't care.
Right.
And this is going to come all the way from the Philadelphia region of Pennsylvania, specifically Bensalem. Rita's Water Ice.
Ooh.
You're getting water ice. Now, you've heard me pronounce water on this podcast before. I say it water, but if you're referring to Rita's, you have to always pronounce it in the native tongue and therefore say it water.
You have to call it water to order it?
You have to. If you're referring to Rita's water ice, it has to be water, not water.
No, I mean, I agree.
Sorry.
I agree.
Yeah, put my foot down. So yeah, there you go. You get unicorn dicks or Rita's for dessert, and that's my dinner.
I love it. That is very much you. Are we calling it chopped up hoagie salad or an antipasta?
It's an antipasta. Get fancy with it.
Yeah, I figured I would butcher it with the chopped up hoagie part.
Yeah. And to be specific too, we're getting the hoagies fresh in from Wawa, Pennsylvania. We're not like ordering from local Wawa. No way. It's got to be from Wawa, Pennsylvania. Like that's the only way I'm doing. Same with Karopolis. Not just any tomato pie. It has to be Karopolis.
Okay, that's fair.
Cheesesteak, I haven't decided where it's coming from. Thinking maybe La Spada's, but definitely not coming from Pat and Gino's because as a local, no, locals don't go there.
Please don't.
So I'll give you a ranking on your dinner. I'll give you a solid 7, maybe a 7.5. It's pretty good.
I appreciate that. It's more of it's a personal menu.
What about me? What do you got? What's my ranking?
Do you want my ranking or Sir Nick Faldo's ranking?
You know what? Give me one of each.
I mean, you literally said you're getting stuff from high school. So Nick Faldo is tossing, turning, and probably walking out of said dinner. I'll enjoy it. I'll enjoy it personally. There's a lot of stuff there that I can get down with. So we're going to go with it.
You know, if I had a dinner and a Nick Faldo walked out of it, I would consider that an honor. Not that I have any hate for Sir Nick Faldo, but, you know,
Look,
pretty impressive.
you can't make everyone happy.
All right, so now we got everybody stuffed up from a dinner and waddling to the first tee in Augusta, which will give Scotty the edge, I think. You got any cool news stories going on this week, Kev? Because I know you're a big storyline guy. What do you got for us?
So we have a couple big name stories, mostly McIlroy and Scheffler, trying to make some big time history at Augusta. We'll get to them in a little bit, but I want to start off with a guy named Rafa Campos. He's a 36-year-old journeyman pro from San Juan, Puerto Rico. He turned pro in 2011. He's currently 194th in the World Golf Rankings and 166 in the FedEx Cup. He has made 37 of 93 cuts. He's made 3 top 5s in his career and 7 top 10s.
Okay, so he's not winning the thing. Go on.
He probably isn't winning today. However, he did win back in November at the Butterfield Bermuda Championship, which qualified him for this year's Masters.
Woo, that's getting in clutch.
It is
Any way
coming
you
in
can,
clutch.
man.
Let me tell you.
Any way you can.
Let me tell you how he ended the season last year. Let's go back to We'll start at the Myrtle Beach Classic. Cut. That's 5 in a row.
Yep.
Cut. T30. Cut. T13. Cut. Win at the Butterfield. And then he gets cut. He doesn't make the cut the next year or the next week.
With all these cuts, I feel like we need a soundboard, and I just need a sound going, one of us.
I mean,
gobble, gobble, one of us.
I feel like the past few weeks we've touched on a player that like just couldn't play golf anymore, and then somehow wins this tournament, like life-changing thing. This is a 36-year-old playing in his first ever major because he won one tournament when he's made the cut in about a third of them, maybe. He does have some notoriety, though. He's a 2-time Olympian from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Can you name the other golfer from Puerto Rico?
I cannot.
It is an old name. And one of the guys that made me fall in love with golf, Mr. Chichi Rodriguez.
Oh, I forget he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So Chichi, I remember seeing him with my grandfather and my dad at a senior PGA Tour event up here. I believe it was like the AT&T tournament or something. And I saw him do his sword fight routine in person. And I mean, I already love playing golf, but man, I love the person even more after that. So Chi-Chi's competed in 14 Masters between 1961 and 1982. He had a top 10 finish twice in 1970 and 1973. So there's Rafa Campos.
She's a legend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolute legend. So there you go. Puerto Rican, 36-year-old first major.
Dude, and again, any way you can, and he's going to Augusta. That's all that matters.
Dude, I mean, the dream. The dream.
Yeah.
Again, a guy who missed, 20 cuts, it felt like, in a row, wins one tournament, and somehow here he is. Incredible story. The next thing I'm looking at are the Højgaard twins. Danish brothers Rasmus and Nikolai Højgaard are the first pair of twins to ever compete at Augusta at the same time. So they're 24 years old. They do become the 19th set of brothers to compete. The last set of brothers to compete were Francesco and Eduardo Molinari from 2010 to 2012.
Nice.
So these guys might be more of a known commodity than Rafa is. They are ranked 60th and 55th, respectively, in the World Golf Rankings. Nikolai last year was actually in the top 6 after the first 3 rounds of the Masters, and even had a brief lead after 10 holes on Saturday. Ended up finishing tied 16th. He finished 7th in the Olympics and was a member of the European Ryder Cup team that won in Italy in 2023. He ended up being a Live Tour member and received a special invite to the 2025 Masters based on his prior merits. Yeah, however, his brother Rasmus, he qualified because he was a top 50 world ranking player at the end of last year. He has 2 top 25s in 7 events. It happens to be his first year on the PGA Tour. So he's making his Masters debut, but his 7th major start. He's a 5-time winner on the DP World Tour, so he brings some experience into this year's Masters.
Not bad at all. Two brothers making a living right there.
Yeah. So fun fact, they're identical twins. And also in their press conference this morning, they admitted to switching spots in school to confuse the teachers. They said all the kids would know the difference, and they would try not to laugh the entire class. But after about an hour or so, the teachers would realize that they switched spots.
I wouldn't be surprised if every identical twin has done that. Like, I feel like it's one of those, if a teacher knows you're going to have identical twins in class, it's going to happen. And I feel like they probably just play along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
you know, it's kind of like, yeah, but it's kind of like, you know, you're sneaking out at night and you come in, you're really quiet, but your parents know you snuck out and they're just like, you know what, he needs the experience. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Could you imagine playing a set of identical twins on the course? Not knowing that they were identical twins, but then like one hits a draw and the other one hits like a fade, and you're just like, hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Foot wedge?
Yeah, right? Where did that come from? So yeah, shout out identical twins coming out. Also want to talk about real quick, I was watching these interviews. Something really cool about Augusta is like, you know, Aberg's from Sweden. These guys are from Denmark. They open the floor to questioning, and they say stuff like, now, if anybody has questions, we're going to open it in English and in, you know, Swedish. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool having all different, you know, nationalities represented, and as well as media members that mid press conference are changing up languages. It's so cool to watch.
Yeah, that's what's fun about it being an international event. I remember when we were there last year on the practice rounds, and like the international players just had a throng of photographers around them, just capturing every moment. It's really cool. It
is really cool. All right, let's move on to one more player real quick that is making the headlines maybe for the wrong reasons. So Angel Cabrera, he is making his 21st Masters start. He is a winner in 2009. He won in a playoff over Kenny Perry and Chad Campbell. But Angel Cabrera hasn't played the Masters in the past 5 years. He was found guilty on multiple accounts of assault on multiple ex-girlfriends, and he spent 30 months in prison and was released in August of 2023.
And see, I'm really surprised, like, with the seriousness of the crime. Like, if it was, I don't know, like a lesser crime, like tax evasion or something. Not that it's, you know what I mean, though. Like, if it was tax evasion or something, that's not as bad. But, you know, DV is a very, very serious charge, and I'm surprised that Augusta allowed him to come back.
Yeah, I am too. And just personally, maybe a little, not upset. Yeah, upset's the word. I think some things take precedent over others. And like you said, this isn't just minor accusations. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed that he came back. Chairman Fred Ridley mentioned something like, you know, it's great to have prior winner come back and play. And yeah, that's great. It's a great tradition that if you win it once, you get invited for life. Right. However, I mean, there's reasons why he wasn't able to make it.
It's rough. I don't agree with the decision at all because, again, DV is very serious, and I think there should be no tolerance to that, especially as serious as his was with multiple accusations and charges and going to jail. Like he said, I'm sorry, I'm a changed man, but at the same time, not a great look.
No, not a great look at all. What is a great look for him, though, is that he is coming off a win. He took last week's Champions Tour win. And I love these tournament names. Ready for this? He won the James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational.
The Champions League. Yeah, Champions Tour has some outrageous names. It's great.
Right. Brought to you by Budweiser, sponsored by Pepperidge Farms. All right. I made that part up. But it's funny, he won the Invitational, although he was an alternate that didn't get in that only got in because someone else withdrew from the tournament.
Did he get the text while he was on the toilet?
I don't know. But another great alternate story on the year. But yeah, so Angel Cabrera, again, he is coming in for his 21st Masters start. with a little bit of negative press coming with him.
Yeah, rightfully deserved. But I'll bring us back to, I guess I'll call it positive press because it's celebrating a man who's done some incredible things. A little somber, but Bernard Langer, it is his last Masters tournament. He had his first Masters 40 years ago this weekend, 67 years old, and this is his 41st and final Masters this week. Now, last year was supposed to be it, but last year was supposed to be his final Masters, but he snapped his Achilles tendon while playing pickleball.
Whew. Wait, I thought that was the point of pickleball.
Yeah, dangerous game, pickleball.
It's no tennis.
Right? So he said they're the two most important wins in my career, he said, of his 1985 and 1993 victories at Augusta. It's emotional. You can tell already my voice is breaking a bit, just realizing it's going to be my last Masters, competitive Masters. And he's kind of said the last couple of years that the course has gotten longer and he's gotten shorter. He mentioned hitting hybrids into the greens while the other kids are hitting 9-irons, maybe wedges. So he realized he's not in contention anymore. But what a career. 41 Masters by the time all is said and done. Like, Bernard's a legend. He is tearing it up on the Champions Tour. He has multiple records on there. Yeah, so good job. Congrats, Bernard, and good luck with the rest of your tours, and keep winning, because that seems to be all he does is win on the Champions Tour.
He is the Tiger of the late 90s of the Champions Tour right now.
He really is, and again, he's got records that nobody is going to be coming close to beating for a long time. So
yeah,
good on him.
Really cool. Did you know that Bernard Langer was the first ever number one ranked golfer in the world?
I did not know that. Interesting.
He is. He was, when the World Golf Rankings were announced, he was number one when they first came out.
Yeah, that's the stat I was looking for. He's ranked up at least one victory a year since joining the circuit in 2007 when he turned 50 in the PGA Champions Tour.
That's
so
crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. So good on him. Other news, too, before we move on to the picks. I know, Kev, you were looking into some of the course changes because of the hurricane. Were you able to find anything, or?
I found a little bit. So Augusta's known to change the course year after year, depending on what they see from previous tournaments or how they feel the game's evolving. A really cool example of that is hole 11. That hole has shrunk and expanded and shrunk some more, and trees have randomly been added. There's a really cool kind of time-lapse video on YouTube that shows it. But yeah, it's really cool. So unfortunately, Hurricane Helene rolled through, in the past year, and it was a big story that that area especially got absolutely just killed by this hurricane. Mm-hmm. And it came out that Augusta, it rolled right through the golf course, knocking out trees, and there was a lot of speculation to the damage that was caused by it. However, there's not much information on it because Augusta is so close-knit that stuff hasn't come out. So theoretically, Monday would have been the first time that people really noticed how big of a difference that the course has been. But luckily, Rory got an early practice round in a couple weeks ago and had a couple notes that I saw. He mentioned that 4 greens were redone. He didn't mention which greens got redone specifically. I do know hole 16 had a monster tree fall on it, so that was one of the greens that was redone. However, the only real noticeable changes that I've seen has been a significant amount of trees that are gone. And the players are mentioning that the way the sunlight comes through the trees, the shadows, specifically on 16, like late in the day, that green is covered by shadows. They're saying the shadows are a little bit different now. And then the chairman came out himself and said that there was no other changes done to the course this year.
Yeah, I didn't find much either. You mentioned that the 16th hole. The only things I saw was that, it's a less claustrophobic experience with less trees. The 11th hole, they said it's possible to see into the neighboring Augusta Country Club course. The separation of the 9th and 1st fairways is less cluttered. But yeah, not too much. I mean, they did a pretty good job coming back on it. I found a neat quote by John Rahm. He said, somebody told me I'm not... Let me start that one over. Somebody told me, I'm not going to say who, that you can hit a high cut over the cabins on 10. I don't believe it, And now that I said it, there might be a tree there tomorrow, which is very Augusta because they have the money to take a tree and say, oh, this guy had this idea. We're going to plop a tree right there.
Yeah, not only do they have the money to do that, they actually have a nursery off property specifically for like this situation. I don't know if you remember. I think it was just last year where like it was a tree that like just randomly fell during the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally picked that up, took it out overnight, and had a new gigantic tree in its spot the next day.
Well, when we were there, like a giant branch crashed down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, it's crazy how quickly they do stuff with that course. But yeah, $282 million worth of damage to the town of Augusta. And yeah, the course has come back, and it's going to be basically, I think, only regulars there are going to notice a lot of the big differences, which is crazy.
Yeah. I think it's just, like I said, the pros that have been there year after year are going to notice these minor changes. And just the way they can rebuild these greens is incredible. So yeah.
Speaking of rebuilding Augusta, though, on the other end of town, we had breaking news today out of the Augusta Municipal Golf Course. Tiger Woods is going to be building a 9-hole par 3 course on the property. It's going to be called the Loop at the Patch. The name's going to be an ode to the Augusta National Golf Caddies, where they gathered, over that course for a couple years. And he also said that his nonprofit TGR Foundation will construct a TGR Learning Lab in Augusta, which will provide STEM opportunities in the area and is expected to serve 23,000 students and should be opening around 2028. Now, this is in addition to the redesign of the 18th hole course by Tom Fazio and Bo Welling, and that's expected to open right before the 2026 Masters. So Augusta Municipal is getting a 9-hole par 3 and a reimagined 18-hole course, and that's crazy. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's a cool part of Augusta itself. It was always known for a cheaper method of playing golf, and like you said, it was tailored to the caddies of back in the day for the Augusta National. So yeah, it's a cool part, and I believe they're also going to try to keep it a reasonable price as well. So that should be interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe we'll be doing course chronicles on it sometime
one
soon.
day. Yeah, it'll be cool to see having Tiger involved, having another one of his TGR facilities will be really cool. They're opening one right down the road here in Philly. At the old Cobbs Creek. So I'm curious to see how that turns out too.
And they're redoing the course too and opening up the learning lab, right?
Yeah. He is overseeing the complete redesign of. I'm pretty sure they're just going to have 118. They used to have 2. But yeah, they're also opening the learning lab there.
That's gonna be insane because I played Cobbs Creek a couple years ago and it was a cool track, but the course was rough. So I'm excited to see what he does with it, and it's going to be probably unaffordable and impossible to get on for the mere mortals of us. But who knows? Maybe our podcast will take off by then, and we'll be invited to the opening as members of the media.
There you go.
Do you have a timeline on that? Were you able to find one?
I don't have one off the top of my head, unfortunately. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we may have to update that one in a later episode.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, Kev, both you and me are part of the same, I guess, Masters Fantasy League among our group chat buddies. And, of course, my team name is the Stig Golf Club, because I'm a huge fan of Top Gear. Kev, what'd you pick for your name?
I didn't go anything creative.
No?
I just went with Wevy GC for no other reason than, yeah. I mean, I can think of something creative, but I didn't.
That's fine. Whatever. But yeah, so here we go. We're going to go down our Masters Fantasy team and their rankings. And honestly, they are probably going to be everybody high up on the predictions list. So we're just going to roll with it.
You would think that.
Yeah, you would think that, but that's true. I placed a bet on some of these guys. I put a parlay on these guys, and I think I cursed everybody on my list. So, because I suck at sports betting. But all right, so first we had past champs. For that one, I took Scotty, and I'm calling him an obvious pick for your past champs or even your U.S. category. And if you don't have him for either one of those, well, you are a better person than I and know something I don't. Or you might have cut your hand making raviolis and know how much tough of an injury that can come back from. He has admitted to not having full range of motion, But despite that, he's still world number one. He's got 3 top 10s in 25. He's third in strokes gained overall. And I'm also going with him winning the tournament not only last year, but a couple years prior to that. So I'm calling him a no-brainer. I'm saying he's easily top 5. He's most definitely going to be in a battle for the top spot on late Sunday. So he's one of my past champions that I picked, and yeah, I think it's a pretty obvious choice. He's one of the odds-on favorites to win the whole thing.
That's fair. This is where you're going to see that I kind of do Masters fantasy a little bit from the heart. My past champ is none other than Sergio Garcia. Yeah. For the first time, it's actually with him playing well. He might be the best player on Live right now. Maybe second to Neiman. But I went with Sergio. Yes, exactly. But yeah, I went with Sergio as my past champ. Again, I love the man. So he will always be in my fantasy squad. Whether that makes me lose or not, he is. I like your Scheffler pick. I do. It might be a little bit easy to pick him. And I will not question anybody that does. But yeah, I found something really cool on Scotty. It's the way he plays at Augusta, and I think it is the just textbook way of scoring across the golf course. So let's see. There are a total of 8 holes on Augusta that he plays under par. For his career, that he's under par. There's one that he's been even, and 9 holes that he averages over par for his career. So the numbers are probably not a surprise, but it tells you exactly how to score here. I'm going to highlight the par 5s. Hole 2, he's 14 under. Hole 8, he's 9 under. Hole 13, he's 11 under. And hole 15, he is 10 under in his career. The other holes. Hole 3, he's played at 4 under. Hole 9, he's only 1 under. Hole 14, he's 5 under. And hole 16, he's 3 under.
Jeez.
That is...
Those are numbers.
Those are numbers. And it is exactly how to score to win at Augusta. You got to play the par 5s correctly. And then there's maybe 3 birdie holes that you really need to go after. And that's especially the stretch from 13 through 16. Like those 3 holes, if you can go 3 under, incredible. Well, 4 holes, sorry. 13, 14, and 16 are big holes there. Oh, shoot. And 15, sorry. All 4 of them. Forget that. The stretch of 13 through 16 is a big stretch of golf to really score and put numbers up. And on the front 9, you really only have those 2 par 5s and hole 3 that plays as a short par 4 to really score. Par is a really good score on this course, no matter who you are.
Absolutely. That's why I said he's a no-brainer. Like, he is consistent. He's been playing some of the best golf of recent memory. I'm not going to begrudge you for your Sergio pick because he's playing, I agree with you, he's playing some of the best golf of his career. He tore up Doral. He did great there, and he's been doing really well in the Live Tour. So I'm not going to say your pick is unreasonable. He's going to score you some points, but I just think there's some better options out there if you want a lot of points scored in your past champs category.
No, I agree. There's definitely probably a better choice.
But, hey, we are Sergio stands on this podcast. So
don't you forget it.
Nope. All right, moving on to the U.S. pick. I took Colin Morikawa. And this one I was going back and forth a bit. I originally picked Bryson because he's performing well at Live. Then I started to question that decision, and I was going back and forth between Xander or Colin. And I was looking at them. Xander's recent struggles with his putting and driving accuracy is what started scaring me a bit. So that's why I landed on Morikawa. He's world number 4, and he's sitting about 40 points behind Xander. Xander has 1 top 25 in 4 starts this season. Colin has 3 top 10s in 5 events this year. He was second at both the Genesis and the Arnold Palmer Invitational, T10 at the Players, and has been fairly consistent. He's second in strokes gained total, first in approach to the green, which is huge at Augusta. He's 12th off the tee, and he's been posting some great numbers. He got 3 straight top 10s. He's going 5th in 2022 at the Masters, T10 in 23, and T3 in 2024. So he's going to be in the conversation on Sunday. I will solidly put him on a top 5 finish, but it really is Morikawa is in the U.S. category for me. Morikawa's 1, and Xander would be a 1A.
No, I agree. In fact, I also took Colin Morikawa because he is my pick to win this week.
Solid, solid.
Yeah, mostly for what you said. He's 5 for 5 in top 20s this year. Had an impressive third place showing last year at Augusta. He's a guy that knows the course and how to get around it, and I think that's one of the biggest factors when coming to Augusta.
Yeah. All right, so we're in agreement there. Again, I don't think any of these picks, at least mine, are really that far out there. In fact, I feel like this year, out of most years, it's kind of clear cut who it's going to be. It's like you have one or two, maybe 3, 4 players, and then everybody else. I don't know if you feel that same way.
It's kind of the way Augusta works. Is the best players often are the ones that show up on Sunday. I mean, first timers just don't win there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of first timers, that's the next category we got, and I took Maverick. And here's my justification for this. So I feel like golf is not a game of what you've done, but it's more of what you've done lately. And once the what you have done lately piles up, you become a legend. And at that point, it does become a game of what you've done. And here's what Maverick's done lately. He's got 10 events played in 25, 8 cuts made, 4 top 10s. Best finish was second at the Genesis. And last week, he finished T3, which was good for a 6-space jump on the world golf rankings to 10th. He's 33rd total strokes gained, 31st in approach to the greens, 121st in driving accuracy, which could hurt him a little bit off the tee at Augusta. But he is 28th in greens and reg, and he's sitting at almost 70% there. So that approach game is on point for him. DraftKings had him at plus 775 for a top 10 finish. He's projected to finish +1, which is good enough last year for a T12. Would have been T29 in 23 and another T12 in 22. So he is up in the mix if he shoots projected. So I was really comfortable betting him in a top 15 finish, and I think he's going to be clear cut above any of the other first timers.
Sure. No, he was probably my number 2 on this category. I ended up going with Rasmus Højgaard for a couple reasons. It's definitely not his ball striking. It's not his strongest suit, which I think is probably one of the bigger stat categories if you were to measure that. He is one of the longest drivers on tour. I believe he's 10th, but he does excel in his short game around the green, and his putting are another very what some of his strongest attributes. But he comes in with I'm going to call it experience, even though it's his first time coming in. Again, with his twin brother playing last year and competing on Sunday. He also comes in with a little bit of a pedigree. It might not be on the PGA Tour, but he has won multiple times in his professional career. And in 7 starts this year on the PGA Tour, he does have 2 top 25s. So he's proved that he can compete with these guys, and I think he's going to have a little bit of an insider edge having someone so close as a twin brother that has competed and has known some of the secrets of Augusta.
No, that's a very fair point too. Not enough to sway me from going in that direction, but I don't think anybody's taken down Maverick just because he has that ability in him, and just where he's at right now, and he's kind of got the hotness coming in.
Definitely.
All right, wild card is next, and I am going with Ludwig.
Did you skip international?
No, I'm saving that.
Oh, okay.
Saving that for last.
Okay.
Yep. Wild card, I got Ludwig, and I'm going to put an asterisk on Ludwig because I'm probably going to regret not choosing Jon Rahm. But he was a runner-up last year. He's world number 5, won the Genesis. My only concern with him is that he's got back-to-back missed cuts in the Players and the Houston Open last week. So he's not playing his best golf right now. He finished second last year in his first Masters appearance, so he's not intimidated by the course, and he's clearly got the nerves for the tournament. But he needs to get that putting under control. It's kind of been his kryptonite. He's 70th in strokes gained total, and a lot of that damage came from being 99th in approach to the green and 120th in putting. So I have huge concerns with his short game and his putting woes. Obviously, he's going to be well aware of that. He's going to be working on all this week. He knows Augusta. He finished second last year. And I think he's due for something, for a big turnaround. And I'm going to give him a top 10 performance this week. I think he's going to recreate the magic of last year. He's going to put those woes behind him, and he's going to be all right. It's a little rough for me to pick him over John Rahm, but I think that's the safe bet.
That's fair. That's fair. For the wild card pick, I am picking a wild card of Will Zalatoris.
Ooh, Mr. Gilmore's caddy. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Gilmore. I will be your caddy today. He has 12 rounds played at Augusta. He's got 3 cuts made, and he's got 8 rounds under par out of his 12. He had one blow-up round of a 77, which kind of skews the numbers a little bit. So he's got that pedigree. I feel like every time Will Zalatoris starts playing well, either something happened, like he gets hurt, or he's got a withdrawal, or whatever it is, that he just can't get in the flow of things. But he is a guy that is very solid with his irons, pretty decent off the tee. I think he's got everything that he can do, or everything in his locker to compete at Augusta. So I'm gonna go with Will Zalatoris.
Yeah, he's got the tools. I just, again, your point of him withdrawing, like I worry about that. And again, like I said, my concerns with Ludwig are his not great performances lately. So it's going to be a tough one. But I see him pulling out of it. Top 10. But if anybody ruins my parlay, it's going to be Ludwig. And it hurts me to say that, but yeah, it's not. It's what it is.
I was close on him too. I almost picked him in my international spot, but I actually passed up just because he is not playing his best golf right now.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, who do you got for internationals?
None other than Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy,
the Tommy lad. Yeah, I have Tommy Fleetwood. He's a guy that's competed multiple times at Augusta. Tons of tournaments. He's made 7 cuts there. His best finish was T3 last year. Just a guy, again, that is solid into the greens. You know, could use a little polishing with his putter, but if he gets hot, I think he can compete just like anyone else.
no, not a bad choice. I mean, Tommy is always there in the conversation throughout the weekend. I can't argue with that. I think there's a couple other people who would be better picks for the internationals, but Tommy's going to score you some points in the fantasy league for sure.
He should. Again, he's a guy. He's got multiple. I think he's got 4 top 20 finishes there. Said finished 3rd last year. He's got the game to go low.
All right, so you said you would Morikawa as your overall winner, right?
Yep, I sure do.
All right, my overall winner is the man in my international spot, Rory.
Okay.
No secret, I'm a Rory stan. You know, so that's who I'm rolling with it. It's his time. He's on a hot streak. He's playing some of the best golf he's ever played. And I'm kind of of the opinion that he has done just about everything you can do in golf except win the Masters. So his main focus probably every year is going to be, I need to win the Masters. I need that green jacket. So he is locked in. He's at plus 650 on DraftKings to win, but because he still needs to win to Augusta, those concerns about him not being able to win there and not having that killer instinct and not being able to finish at Augusta are always going to be in the back of everybody's head. He's got 2 missed cuts in a T22, but this year he's got the ice in his veins, I feel. 2 wins, 3 top 25s. He's world number 2, first in strokes gained overall, first off the tee, 10th in putting, 19th in approach to the green, which is a little dicey, especially with Scotty coming in at 7th. And that's where Augusta kills you is your approach to the green. But I think despite the pressure, despite some of the recent train wrecks he's had at the Masters, this is his year. He's a reasonable number 1 pick, but Sunday it's going to come down to Rory and Scotty. That's where I'm at.
Hey, you went chalk, and that's okay. Chalk went really well for the NCAA tournament this year. I left Rory out of it, not because I don't think he's going to do well, but I just don't think he's going to win. And it just goes back, this guy hasn't won a major since 2014. I just can't pick a guy that just hasn't been able to come through lately, even though he might be the best player so far this year. And I'd argue he still has room for improvement.
That's fair. That's a very fair point. I just think he's on that hot streak, and he's got the momentum coming into the tournament, and that's why he's kind of so high on my list.
I would love to see him get the Grand Slam. And I have nothing against him. He's just off my fantasy team because of Sergio.
That's fair enough. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad picks on both our parts. I mean, you're pretty reasonable. I think I'm gonna finally maybe win it this year. I guess I went with the painfully obvious one. So nothing heroic, nothing interesting going there. Um, anyway, I'm looking up my parlay and get your thoughts on it. Here we go. We have a 4-pick parlay. We got Scotty top 5, Rory top 5, Colin top 10. Oh, and I put Ludwig in top 20, so not even top 15. I think that's a pretty reasonable parlay.
I mean, it's reasonable, definitely. I think all of them are maybe not safe because top 5 is quite the stretch.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything out of the realm of possibility there.
It's plus 2042. So wager $15 to pay $321. We had Scotty at plus 100 for top 5, Rory at plus 150 for top 5, Colin at plus 150 for top 10, and then Ludwig at minus 140 for top 20.
All right. I wish you luck, sir.
Thank you. Drinks are all made next time you come down, which will hopefully be in a couple of weeks, and we can do our first, I guess, live from the course. I don't know how we're going to set that up, but maybe create content for the YouTube channel at Tending Flag. Be crazy.
Yeah.
The Masters is fun every year. It's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy watching it, just kind of hanging out on the couch and having a great weekend. Biting my nails on Sunday, hopefully with that parlay, and I don't know, maybe I'll be $300 richer. That would be great.
There you go. One of the cool features this year that I saw they added is apparently you can watch every shot on the practice range.
Yes, I saw that
on the app. So I'm going to try checking that out at some point this weekend. Augusta's really cool technologically, and they're just super advanced on everything. So definitely take advantage of everything that's available to you this week.
Yeah, it looks like they came out a bit more with that, and that'll be interesting to watch. I'm excited to watch the par 3 tournament, which is on right now after the episode is released. But again, we recorded it Tuesday night. But par 3 tournament's great. It's one of my favorite weekends in golf, hands down, and I think that's a pretty fair statement to say for just about everybody.
The full week, my first. I'm still a British Open fan, so it's my second favorite week of the year golf-wise. But I love everything that has to do with this tournament.
So Kev, final thoughts. I kind of gave mine. I don't have that many. I mean, we went over my picks, and I'm solid by them. I'm not going to change them again. But Kev, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. It's Augusta. Take it all in. I'm gonna probably lock myself to the couch this weekend. It looks like weather's gonna be rainy, so I usually would just, I would try to get an early Sunday round in, and then I would, come back home and watch the rest of Augusta. But with a rainy weekend, I think I might just watch every shot on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to a lot of golf.
Yeah, I'll be there watching every shot Sunday. I'm recovering from an injury, so, got nothing better to do than sit around and do nothing. It'll be a good time. Yeah, great time. So yeah, that'll do it for this week. Again, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. We love to have you here, and we love doing this, and we can't do it without you guys. So eternally grateful for your likes, comments, and subscriptions. And if you haven't subscribed or followed the podcast, what are you waiting for? You're listening. You're awesome. You clearly think we're pretty cool. So go ahead and follow the podcast wherever you listen to it. And tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell your golf partners. We're growing this community, and it's only going to get bigger and better from here on out. And Kev, plug the socials, sir.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, at Tending Flag. A lot of cool stuff coming, especially in the next 2 weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked it out already, be sure to go back and listen to our first Course Chronicles episode where we did the Disney Magnolia course. It was a lot of fun. There's going to be more of them. And I guess next time we get in, we're going to be doing this right after the Masters for a Masters review. So we've done 3 episodes in a row. That's kind of crazy for us.
Yeah.
4 episodes really in a row.
Yeah. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I look forward to recapping Augusta and maybe really getting into some of the course and how it played.
Oh yeah, and I'm looking forward to being $300 richer. So, fingers crossed. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you all enjoy the Masters. Have a great weekend, and thank you for listening. And good night.
Yeah, take care, guys.